Get out of our sight. You're just the cleaner." The words sliced through the quiet lobby like a slap. A wealthy couple stood tall, eyes cold with contempt. Beside them, a black man in a faded uniform tightened his grip on the mop. Head bowed as laughter echoed. They didn't know the storm about to break. In less than 8 minutes, the man they mocked would be the only one standing between their daughter and tragedy. Have you ever watched arrogance turn to desperation? Tell us in the comments. Get out of our sight. You're just the cleaner. The words sliced through the quiet lobby like a slap. A wealthy couple stood tall, eyes cold with contempt. Beside them, a black man in a faded uniform tightened his grip on the mop. Head bowed as laughter echoed. They didn't know the storm about to break. In less than 8 minutes, the man they mocked would be the only one standing between their daughter and tragedy. Have you ever watched arrogance turn to desperation? Tell us in the comments. Before we begin, hit subscribe. It's appreciated. It was an early spring evening, the kind when the city lights sparkle against a soft drizzle. Marcus, a quiet janitor with a steady routine, pushed his cart through the marble halls of the luxury hotel. He took pride in his work, every polished floor and spotless window a small piece of dignity in a world that rarely noticed men like him. To most guests, he was invisible. To Marcus, this was normal. The couple arrived just past sunset. Wealth dripped from every detail, tailored coats, diamond bracelets, the kind of confidence that made space wherever they walked. They dismissed the doorman with a wave and swept into the lobby, leaving the smell of expensive perfume in their wake. Marcus noticed them only because of the sharpness of their voices, the way they cut through the gentle hum of the evening crowd. When their eyes met his, it wasn't curiosity he saw. It was judgment. The kind that measured a person by their shoes, their uniform, their skin. He lowered his gaze and kept mopping, but he felt the weight of their stare. Upstairs, their young daughter twirled in a sequined dress, waiting to show her parents the dance she had practiced all week. She didn't know the quiet man in the hall below would soon change everything. What would you do if someone treated you as though you were invisible, until the moment they needed you most? Marcus finished the lobby and moved to the upper floors, the wheels of his cart whispering across the thick carpet. The night was calm, but he felt a tension in the air, like a storm pressing against the windows. From the grand ballroom below came the echo of a string quartet and the low murmur of wealthy guests. He passed the couple's suite and caught a glimpse of their world through the half-open door. Silver trays of food, champagne flutes scattered across a table. Their daughter spun in circles, her laughter carrying down the hall. Marcus smiled to himself, a quiet moment of warmth before the evening turned. Downstairs, the couple complained to the manager. Their voices were sharp, demanding. They wanted the janitor removed from their floor. "It's unsettling," the husband said. "He doesn't belong near our room." The words stung when they reached Marcus. He heard them through the thin walls of the service hallway, each one a reminder of the distance people like them created. He kept working, but the unease followed him. Then came the sound that froze him in place, a sudden shriek from above. Not the playful giggle of a child, but a scream laced with fear. Marcus dropped his mop and ran. Up the stairwell, 2 steps at a time, his heart pounding. The corridor was thick with smoke when he reached the top. A small electrical fire had sparked in a storage closet, flames licking the air, alarms wailing late. The couple's suite door was ajar, but the parents were nowhere in sight. Inside, the little girl coughed, trapped by the creeping smoke. Marcus didn't hesitate. He wrapped a wet cloth around his face, pushed through the heat, and scooped her into his arms. The fire grew louder, the building trembling with the rush of sprinklers and sirens. Marcus moved through the haze, every breath a battle. At the last hallway corner, a ceiling beam groaned and splintered, crashing down behind him with a shower of sparks. He emerged into the stairwell just as firefighters burst in, the girl clinging to his neck, eyes wide with terror. Below, the parents shouted her name, their panic rising as they spotted the soot-covered janitor carrying their child. Marcus didn't look for thanks. He focused on keeping her safe as they descended step by step, the roar of the fire chasing them downward. Would the parents even realize who had saved her life before it was too late? What do you think happens next? The stairwell door banged open and smoke rolled out like a dark wave. Marcus stepped into the lobby, his arms aching but steady, the child pressed against his chest. Her cough was soft now, muffled against the wet cloth he'd wrapped around her face. The parents broke from the crowd, their elegant coats streaked with soot, eyes wild with fear. They had been searching frantically, shouting her name through the chaos. When they saw Marcus, everything stopped. Their daughter alive, clinging to the man they had mocked only an hour earlier. The mother dropped to her knees first, sobbing as she reached for the child. The father followed, collapsing beside her, their expensive clothes soaked and grimy. They thanked Marcus through tears, voices cracking under the weight of relief and guilt. Marcus handed the girl to them gently, his hands blackened from smoke. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. The image said everything. The man they had dismissed as just the cleaner had risked his life to save the person they loved most. Around them, firefighters moved with urgent precision, hoses hissing, alarms wailing. The couple's eyes met Marcus's again, but the arrogance was gone, replaced by something quieter: recognition, shame, respect. The hotel manager stepped forward, ready to commend the hero of the night. But Marcus only nodded once, turning toward the service corridor. He wanted no applause, no spotlight. He simply returned to his cart, the mop handle still damp from before the fire, the rhythm of his work waiting. What would you have said in that moment, if you were the parents, staring at the man you judged and realizing he had saved your world? Tell us below.